Let's bring in Robert Zimmerman. He's a Democratic strategist, and Jack Burkman, Republican strategist. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us. Listen, let's just think about this for a second. Mike Huckabee makes the point. We're not expecting terrible weather, particularly for Iowans next Tuesday, but he says the weather's going to influence the caucus. If it's nice, those people who like Romney will come out and vote. If it's not nice, they might say, it's kind of cloudy outside, I'm hanging out inside. But the Ron Paul supporters will climb over 3 or 4 mountains to cast their ballot for him. Jack, what's your thought on this?
Well, I love Mike, as you know, Ollie, but I couldn't disagree more. The reason is that in Iowa, you have some of the most extreme Republicans in the country. This is the extreme social right. These people would come out in a tornado. When they make up their mind and they have their candidate, this is the smallest sliver of people who will participate in any primary or caucus anywhere in the nation. And believe me, when they make up their mind, they will be out to vote regardless of weather.
Jack, Robert, Christine Roman's my colleague. She's from Iowa, and she says this is the first time that it's so late in the season and you haven't seen people's lawn signs. You do see Ron Paul lawn signs because those folks were committed from the beginning and remain committed. But we're getting to this place where these Iowans, like Dan just talked about, are still not making their mind up about who they're voting for.
Well, that's also part of their history and part of the culture there. In 2008, 40% of the Iowa voters in the Republican caucus decided within the last week. And we still see a very significant number that are either undecided or publicly saying they're going to switch positions. They're leaning one way, but they're certainly open to switching in other positions. The problem they've got in Iowa is the right hand doesn't know what the extreme right hand is doing.
Right.
And that's really the challenge there, in that to see them consolidate. And that's why, if you look at the field as it now lays out, certainly the issue is not who wins. The issue is who comes out of Iowa with momentum. And for Mitt Romney, Ron Paul's victory, or Ron Paul finishing second, is a tremendous victory for Mitt Romney, because it could potentially blocks Newt Gingrich from consolidating the anti-Romney constituency.
Jack?
One important point to remember here, Ron Paul is very much in this race. The advantage he has is he has a base that goes with him. He's got that 13, 14, 15%. He doesn't have to go out and earn his dinner every night. Romney, for all his money, Gingrich, for everything these people have in terms of attention, they don't have what Ron Paul has right now, and that's a solid base. I think Paul is in this. I really think, I don't think he'll win, but I think he can be he can play a big role in these primaries.
But Jack, Ron Paul is shown to have a very niche constituency, or a boutique constituency. He gets that 20, 22%, but he doesn't show any potential for growth. The real issue is when a candidate emerge out of Iowa who's got potential to consolidate the anti-Romney votes, and that's what we have to keep an eye on.
And that's a good point. Let me ask you about something else. When we're talking about consolidating anti-Romney votes, Newt Gingrich has been, of the group, the most successful at the moment, but they've got this big problem in Virginia. They were talking about how they were going to be on the ballot in Virginia. Now we find out 5 of those candidates didn't make it onto the ballot, including Newt Gingrich. He wanted to have a write-in ballot. The rules in the state don't allow that. He has even referred to this, his campaign manager referred to this as their Pearl Harbor moment. Is this serious, Jack?
I don't think so. I actually think, Ollie, this will be decided before March 4th. I think, now, Gingrich, if I were Gingrich, I'd be doing the same thing. You want to turn this into a big media win. You want to pretend you're the underdog. You want to do all of those things. I think this will be over long before that. The real issue here, when you look at all of this stuff, is whether Romney can get through the South. If Romney, my prediction is he can't. And when you come out that other side, there's just not enough oxygen. My prediction is that only a conservative can really win this.
It's important to remember, when you look at the layout of the primary and caucus season, February is a relatively quiet time.
Right.
And because of proportional representation, it's not a winner-take-all process. So Super Tuesday, I think it's March 6th, will be very defining as to how this goes. Romney has shown he's got the national organization to go the distance. Newt Gingrich, for all his bravado, has shown not just that he's an underdog, but that he's incompetent. And it's a very clear message to the donor and political community when you can't even get on the key ballot states. The other problem he's got is how he explains it, comparing this to Pearl Harbor. It's like the way he explained his infidelities by saying he did this out of love of country, or comparing Democrats to Nazis. At one point, just lose credibility in the process.
All right, guys, we'll pick this up. We got lots of time to continue this discussion. Jack, always good to see you. Thanks very much for joining us, Jack Burkman and Robert Zimmerman. Great to see you as always.